Alright my friends, so on today's video what I'm going to be showcasing to you, and we're going to have a light discussion about this, is the most neglected and often forgotten areas in the detailing world, in your detailing steps. Now whatever you do on the inside of the car, on the outside of the car, I know a lot of blokes, let's be honest, a lot of blokes are like, let's make the car all shiny, but I hate doing interior detailing, or I hate looking after the neglected areas. Now the neglected areas is what really shows what you are like as a person. So I've got what's called the front trunk. So on the 911, it's a little bit backwards, but this is for English people, my boot. Now the car was washed a couple of days ago. Now you're gonna see it doesn't look as bad as it should, because of course it's maintained. But what I did do is basically, as you can see by the leaves already, etc., I have actually not dried anything off here, just to try and recreate a few water spots. So obviously leaves, all that type of stuff. So thankfully, there are some leaves in this area, because where I live, there's a lot of very nice trees. So this time of year now, for my American viewers, it's called fall for a reason. The leaves are falling. So they actually have falling in there, but the leaves aren't a problem because you could just blow them out. It's everything else. Now, I'm going to showcase to you what areas most people forget, and also the danger long-term on a vehicle, when you do forget it, what it can cause to your internals and your jams and your holes, etc. All right, guys, so as you can hopefully see, I've got water spotting here, I've got water spotting all up here, there, I've got obviously leaves, which we're going to take out in a second. I've got all of this going in here. Now, I just wanted to bring you in a little bit closer before we take you back out and kind of show you what is the kind of method of fixing this. Now, granted that, again, before everybody loses their goddamn mind over this, I can already, in fact, you could see even how slick the plastic is. It's very... So, before everybody loses their minds and goes, oh my God, this should be green and full of enough vegetation and moving things that the Amazon rainforest can, have a heart attack about it. Yes, technically, that's what you're expecting right now, but that is not what you're getting, because even me trying to replicate a really bad problem on our vehicles, one, obviously on this I can't, but second of all, I don't want to, just to show you the reason as to why I haven't done this. Now, let's get the actual leaves out first. I'm going to get all this out. Now, this is, usually a missed area, let's be honest. Normally you guys have a boot in the back, so you're going to wash the car. I'm saying everyone does this, because most of the people who watch this channel, I would like to think that they are more kind of discerning individuals, let's say. So on the back of that, if you're watching this and you're not in this field, let it go over your head. But for the majority of the normal people who may just want to wash their car and forget about it, if you don't handle this area pretty much every time you wash, what then happens is this car, so there's 2 points here, there's a couple of points here as well, but each car is different. It has drain holes. Now, if you allow those drain holes to get bunged up with, say, moss, whether it's loose vegetation, you've just seen me take it, or anything else for that matter, when it starts to rain or you drive through rain, obviously this area is not airtight for a reason. It's going to start draining here as well. You might have seen the most obvious one in your fuel cap. Now, if this gets bunged up and water sat inside here somewhere for prolonged periods of time, or if you've got water containing high salt kind of content, we're coming into winter now, so that's an easy one. What that's going to do all inside here, all these areas, right, wherever it drains off on each specific car, you're going to be basically promoting rust, okay? You're going to be promoting rot. And this is why you see on kind of a lot of cars which are 5+ years old, which haven't been maintained, once you start taking the wheel wells off or anything like that, the cars are just ruined. Now, it's very simple to do it. Now, again, the way I usually wash this car with the frunk, I'll actually lift the bonnet at the very, very last stage, and I'll take a lightly damp wash pad, so I like to wring a lot of the shampoo out, and I'll actually wash this area. But again, I'm trying to replicate something here, guys. Imagine you've watched this video now and you're like, you know what, I'm going to go and lift my boot, my bonnet, whatever it may be, and you look at it and you're thinking, bloody hell, he was right. So what I like to do, because this doesn't see the road as the other things do, I'm going to flip this to interior. I've got an interior Spec detailing brush. This is my kind of brush for internal trims. But just to be safe, I'm not going to use an interior towel. I'm going to use our wheel and tire towels. And what you want to be doing at this point is literally, so I'm going to pre-saturate the brush. And to be fair, on a car like this, I actually like to do this step regardless whether I wash it or I don't wash it every probably 3 to 6 months. It's just nice to get a little bit of a heavier decon. Now, I'm getting in all of these areas. In my case, I'm removing the water spotting, which I on purpose caused. Right? You go up everywhere. And have you noticed I'm not using like a boar's hair brush or anything like that, and I'm not coming in here and hammering it. If you're doing that, unfortunately, my opinion, you're looking after your cars wrong. Look, I'm just literally massaging the cleaner. That's all you want to be doing. So to most people, I'm right now doing an engine bay detail because engines are in the front, but I'm not. So I'm actually cleaning the scuttle panel, this is technically called. Now, a lot of people with this much plastics in their boots, their engine bays, what you want to be doing is you actually want to be, after this, protecting it. You've actually seen how slick it was when I tried to put the bottle down, and that's literally very well protected interior plastics. Technically exterior, if you want to call it like that. Now, by doing this all the time, you are not allowing anything, like I mentioned, to actually get stuck. And that basically means when water is in here, which it will be every time you drive or wash the car, so when I lift it, obviously everything's dripping, because like I've already mentioned, it's not airtight or watertight for that specific purpose. But every time you do that, you will like literally, a lot of people have the opinion of, well, if it's out of sight, it's out of mind, because I can't see, it's not hurting me. But you are protecting the internals of the car to a level that you do not understand. And I've actually looked up this number, but with the way, you know, life is going and people's perceptions keep changing, a lot of people actually starting to keep, whether it's a special car or a non-special car, they're starting to keep the cars for longer. So they're actually running a high amount of months past their leases or PCP finance deals, whichever one it may be. So if you are going to keep your car for more than 3 years, 5 years, this is even more important. But even if you're like a car bouncer, between 1 to 3 years you keep changing your car because you want the newer facelifted models, I would do this. I hear a term all the time saying, oh, I'm just future-proofing the car for the next person. But you're currently using this car, so you don't buy something and ruin it because you don't want to future-proof for the next person. But my opinion is, while the car's in my possession, I want to look after it the best. And literally now the very easy part, right? Again, I just want to use the 2 wheel and tire towels. If you want to use any other kind of, whether it be fine or wipe or anything like that, it's up to you. But because this is an interior cleaner, it's not leaving or adding anything behind, it's not stripping anything either. Very gentle, just dry it off. I mean, literally get your fingers into every spot. Boom. Now, you're all thinking, I'm going to open my boot. It has the Amazon rainforest growing there. What do? Again, I always recommend trying to go with the least aggressive always method. So that is what you've just seen, the interior cleaner. Now, if you've got heavy vegetation, heavy staining, honestly, because this is technically, I would say, exterior part of the car, I wouldn't say this remains as clean as the interior. I would say use citrus. Knock it down probably around 9 to 1, which is a very nice dilution. Go from there. If you've got extreme, my car's written off, type of contaminants, knock it down 4 to 1 and literally just agitate it as you see me, or you've seen me do. And then just dry it off. Boom, look at that. You know what, I've been waiting for this video because I'm like, I've got water spots inside my boot, my frunk, and I don't like it, but had to do for you guys. Boom, fantastic. And now I'm going to give you the ultimate pro tip, okay? This is a little bit above, obviously, your heads in terms of chemistry, but I'm going to bring it down really, really nicely for you. If you've got a vehicle that is, you know, say new, extremely well maintained, and you don't want to add any level of kind of darkening effect because your trims, for example, the scuttle panel, is perfect the way you like it, but you want to protect it. Obviously, you can do trim coatings, all that type of stuff. Now, if you don't have access to things like that, here it is. Oh yes, I said it. Now this, because it's within the sealing category of products with no sealing properties in terms of the protection. Now what that basically means, the product at the chemistry level and at the nano level is a lot thinner than your waxes or your heavier spray sealants potentially. So this actually lays on top of trim very, very nicely. So in my case, I want to keep the color, so I'm not going to do like a 5 to 1 mix of Dress V2 and a spray bottle. You can if you wish, if you want to just give it that satin +1 kind of finish. But I just want to remain it slick because I actually like the look of this trim. So what I'm going to do is I'm quickly just going to wipe this down. Now you know what this does on the paint, right? That ultimate slickness. And if you've used this product, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Now try this on any one of your exterior trims. But if you've got something big like this, so you know, engine bays, anything like that, if you've got it already kind of dialed up or down for your kind of color spec of one of the trims, literally over the top as your maintenance, just wipe it down with this. Right? Now I'm going to flip it. Yes, sir. I like it. Now that's very slick. Now what that basically means, imagine paint. I don't know if you guys have ever felt slick trim, but slick trim is a bit of a flex, if I'm honest. It's very nice. So it's very slick, and what that basically means now, because it's not exposed to like your typical road rash or road salts as much, is basically now the contaminants are going to hit. I mean, you've seen it. This car, just so you know for reference, I drove to see my parents. It was my beautiful mother's birthday. So I thought, you know, I'm going to drive. On the way up and on the way down, torrential rainstorm. So I was literally doing 35 miles an hour on the M1. Now, when I got back, obviously I washed the car in the next following days. But then I lifted this up, and as you saw per the video, I actually didn't lift the front bonnet up. I didn't want to see it. I was like, well, when I do the video, it looks how it looks. You and I were the first people to actually see what it looked like. Did it look that bad that I probably did 230 mile there and back return trip in torrential rain for about 91% of the journey on the M1, which basically means it all gets sucked up into here. It lands on the bonnet, it goes through the drain holes in the side, so it has to land in this area, 100% guaranteed. Now that wasn't that bad. 4 leaves, a lot of rain, and I had a little bit of water spotting, right? And this is the whole premise of the video. It's not to, I can see the comments coming already, oh my God, you're cleaning a clean car. Like, brother, please be quiet and just listen to what I'm trying to tell you in between. I can very easily walk across that road right now and get the rattiest car in South Yorkshire. That's not a problem to do that, and we do those sort of videos. But the premise of the channel in general is we sell a high-end product for the high-end, mentally minded individual. Doesn't matter what car you drive. That is really irrelevant. I've got people who have £1,000 cars that have done 100k plus miles, but the paint on them will embarrass most cars, okay? That's the person I'm talking about. Now, the premise of this video is, this is what you get, and this is how you maintain, in this case, one of the most neglected, let's be honest. I think the boot, I did a door jam video a few months back, but the boot is probably one of the, if not the most underlooked item or overlooked item, if you know what I mean. Now, for all that mileage to have driven, to have it like this, again, it's for me, like I look at it, I'm like, well, it's actually not that bad. But I've now told you, if you want to go and use citrus 4:1, 9:1, 101:1, it really doesn't matter. But you're, again, your own barman in your own bar, you let your eyes do the talk. And if all of this was green right now, in between, I've got these little slits here. So I've got 4 slits here, 4 slits there. It was loaded with green moss. And it was just everywhere, water spotting, salt etching. Honestly, what I would do, citrus 4:1, soft detail and brush, boom. You can even actually rinse this down. You could do this at the wash stage of the vehicle. And again, you can rinse this all down and you're back to spec. So I hope, again, I have kind of showed you a little bit more. Again, you've seen a fairly clean example in a video. Fair enough. However, the video is from 0 to 100. You take everything I've just told you and you could go 1% or 100% into it. Really kind of doesn't matter. But you should never have to go to 100% and actually give chemical baths. In essence, you shouldn't really be doing that. This is more of, if you're that type of guy or girl who likes to wash their cars, and your car is your castle, whatever, then honestly, look after this. It'll look after you. In fact, in the 21 months that, I think it's 20 months that I've owned this car, I have never not wiped it down as per the method you've seen, whether it's just with detail spray or the interior every 3 to 6 months. In the 20 months that I've owned it, I literally did it for this video. Luckily, I've got no water spotting that has remained. Beautiful, thank God. But yeah, if you look after your cars, they'll look after you. But the main thing that you want to promote is don't promote the rot within all of these areas that drain the water off. The main one's the fuel cap. How many times have you washed the car? This is for the detailers out there when you're doing your first-time maintenance client. You clean the fuel cap, you rinse it down, and the water's not going anywhere. It's within the fuel cap, right? That's because the drain hole, perfect example, right, is being blocked up over many, many years and just pure negligence. Here, I can rinse this down. This will drain faster than a hydrophobic car because all the drain holes are clear. I keep them flush at all times. Hope this has helped at least one person, as always. And yeah, let me know in the comments what you think of the video. I think it's actually quite an important thing to film stuff like this. To kind of educate potentially the new and up-and-coming people within the car care world, because a lot of people may not know of this and what the main thing is, what damage it can cause. So let me know what you think in the comments, and I will catch you all, as always, in the very next video. Thank you so much, guys.